Okay, so here it is, 8th grade, finally the Oobleck video. So I'm going to make some for you. Notice that I have a light color on because if you wear black, then you're just all white when you're done, like covered in powder. And I'm also going to put on a mask because I don't like to breathe it in. You can breathe it in, but if you put a mask on, I think it works a little bit better. But remember, when you're mixing, hold it way out. So you start, I'm going to use a clear cup so you can see what's inside, and use whatever size cup you use, and I'm only going to make a little for the video. But whatever size cup you use 1/3 of water. So if you use that much water, then use 3 times of that of cornstarch. And what you'd like to do is put the cornstarch in a lot, and then you're going to have cement. So I do it spoonful by spoonful and stirring. And notice that I use 2 different spoons and I use a metal spoon. So I use a metal spoon because eventually it gets thick and the plastic spoon is going to break. So now it looks like milk. And notice how I use 1 spoon in the powder and then this wet one in the liquid, because otherwise when you put the spoon back in the container it gets all starchy and that's just not good. It will clump up. So see how I'm taking a spoonful each time and you just stir it in. And you just keep doing that until you get it the right consistency. Now the sad thing is, when we do this in class, everybody thinks they get Oobleck and then they show me and they say, do I have it? And I look at it and I say yes or no. When you're making it, I'm not going to be there. And that's where this video becomes so important, because you really need to stir it and keep adding. Somehow, I got a clump on my stirring spoon. Here's my clump. But that's okay. I'm going to keep stirring. So that's how you make it. You just keep adding cornstarch until it stops being like milk and it starts being like a milkshake. And I am not there yet, but I'm getting closer. I'm getting my spoon clean. But notice how I do spend some time stirring it in between, because you want to mix up the little flakes in with the water. And more stirring. And you'll see that I formed a chunk inside, right? So you'll be getting those chunks inside. Just keep stirring until that chunk disappears and you get it smooth again. Now, if you noticed, this is taking a little bit of time. Well, that's okay, because sometimes good things come after a little while. And if you don't make it right, I know you're going to be tempted, especially the boys, to just glump a whole pile in. And when you glump a whole pile in, then it doesn't work in the end. So if you did that, that's okay. Just throw it away and start all over again. Once it gets cementy, you can't fix it again. It's ruined. So best to just throw it away and start again. But as you can see, I've put a lot of spoonfuls in here, and I still do not have Oobleck, but I am getting a chunk. So I am getting close. Now it's getting harder and harder to stir and mix up. So I had to put my cup down. And I think I'm getting very close. And that makes me very happy, because I wanted to make it really, really good so you could see. So it's still pouring, which is good, but it's thicker for sure than it was. Now sometimes in the end, you start putting in smaller amounts so that you can manage it. But because I've done this a lot of times, I think I'm going to be okay. Because that last dose that I put in, that was pretty much. And that was the tipper, because guess what I've got? Now I've got Oobleck. Okay, so you could see that it's still runny, but there's this glump in it. And you want that glump in it. So I'm going to keep mixing it and get whatever is on the bottom, all those little morsels all mixed in. And I think I have got that. So now it's very hard. So now I have Oobleck, which when you look at the top, it still looks runny like water. All right, now we're on stop because we're going to go to part 2.